Hey, how you doing? It is April 28th, 2020. I'm about to watch AEW Wrestling After Dark, or Dark, as they call it. I know a couple of Georgia notables are going to be on the show tonight, so I'm excited about that. I heard Cody Rhodes is wrestling on it as well. I'm a few minutes early here. I'm just going to be calling this out live, so you'll get my initial reactions to things as I see them. My initial reaction to this is I tuned in a few minutes early, and something that I found is they just have like a boring screen thing of, I guess it's the best friends, and it just says All Elite Wrestling Dark. It says premieres in 2 minutes. There's no countdown clock. There's no video package. I guess I could tolerate not having a video package of some kind, but I would suggest putting some like 10 or 15 minutes together just of footage with some kind of music underneath with a countdown clock. I think would look a lot better than this, because the times are all screwy, right? It says premieres in 2 minutes, April 28th, 11 p.m. I don't know where 11 p.m. would be. It would be far east of the United States, since I'm in the Eastern time zone. So that's weird. And on the post itself, it said 4 o'clock, which is, I guess, Pacific Standard Time that it would start. So anyway, so many things just seem kind of disjointed. Hopefully when it gets started here in a couple of minutes, everything will just kick off right on time and we'll be all good. But countdown clock is sort of my initial look, my initial thought looking at this. Shawn Dean McBride is wrestling tonight. He's wrestling Jimmy Havoc, who I saw live at the MLW show. So that should be exciting to watch. But I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to call it a Platinum's Principles. The first one I did was taking a look at the AEW Dynamite show versus NXT, and I switched back and forth. Because I want to put out more content, and a lot of people say they listen to me and not necessarily watch. Obviously, you have to watch the Comfortably Platinums, or else you don't get the videos and the pictures with it. But everything else, people say they tend to listen to, which is awesome. So I'm going to put out more pieces like this, or booking the news and other things. I'm constantly trying stuff. I practice what I preach. I always tell wrestlers and wrestling people to try out content, make mistakes, find out what works, and emphasize things. So that's what I'm going to do as well. So I'm excited about AEW Dark starting, and then afterwards, I'm probably going to try to finish this level of Cuphead with my kid. We're right on the verge. Elena, I feel like we're right on the verge of finishing it.
Exactly. We are on like the last stage, and we've been getting to it every time, and it's almost frustrating.
Yes.
One time Dad was so close, it was like, we didn't win, because for the winning animation for Mugman, it was like his toe was like touching the knockout point. Like.
That's right. They have like a little thing to show how far you've gotten in the level, and I was right there at the end. But I'm confident me and my eldest can get it done tonight. So that is something to look forward to. It is 6:59. Now it is officially 7. It says premiere will begin shortly.
The premiere thing is automatically like a YouTube puts that there.
Gotcha. So it's saying it's going to begin shortly. So let us hope. And this would be fine, right? You know the YouTube's better than me. Oh, here we go. And now there's a countdown clock for 2 minutes.
Automatic YouTube premiere countdown thing.
Oh, so according to Elena, this is the automatic YouTube premiere countdown.
Yeah. This kind of looks like the sets countdown. It's like 5 minutes, and then we have to go inside God.
She said it's like a church countdown, or 5 minutes left, and then we got to go inside in God. My kids are funny. So now we have this countdown happening. Minute 23, minute 22. Okay. So it's something you can obviously set up on YouTube, and I get that as well. Just doing little things, little suggestions. Hopefully AEW can incorporate, because I want it to be as good as possible. Get their stuff super sharp. I'm curious what their second show on television eventually is going to be. Is this a preview of what we're going to see? Is there going to be AEW Dark, and then AEW Dynamite, or is it going to be something else entirely? I guess we're going to have to wait and see on that. And of course, a lot of things on wrestling on hold. But luckily, we have AEW and the WWE who continue to do shows. So we're 30 seconds out, and then we'll see how they open Dark. I've watched Dark one other time before because there were a number of Georgia notables that were going to be on, so I thought it would be fun to check it out. And hopefully this show can be good enough that I'm interested in continuing to go out of my way to watch it. 10 seconds left. Exciting.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
Veronica.
4, 3, 2, 1. It stops.
And we're on hype. Here we go.
Welcome everyone to AEW Dark.
Tony Schiavone.
Along with the American Nightmare, Cody. We have 3 matches for you this week, Cody. Jimmy Havoc will be in action against Shawn Dean.
The captain, Shawn Dean, one of my favorites, against one of the most notorious in AEW, that beat Jimmy Havoc.
Shawn Dean against Jimmy Havoc.
There will be a tag team match. Best friends.
Best friends. Love it. Municipality.
Best friends have been sneaking up the rankings, and best friends might currently be the best tag team in AEW besides the World Tag Team Champions. So this would be a good time to check them.
Cody putting over best friends very nicely. Lee Johnson and Musa. So those are our 2 matches that have been announced. I heard that Cody Rhodes was actually going to wrestle. We shall see if that's true. There's Shawn Dean, Captain's Log. So my kids are familiar with him through his Captain's Log.
Here's the captain, Shawn Dean, coming in. He's 0-1 here in AEW, but the captain, at 2 years in pro wrestling, has a lot of upside here. So
We've seen a lot of the captain lately. He's very right. A lot of upside in this match.
Yeah, Shawn Dean looks really good.
Shawn Dean here in the ring, as you see, Aubrey Edwards is our referee for this bout. And with
Aubrey Edwards is the ref. I like her a lot as the referee.
Night of wrestling coming up.
Yep, women's pride.
Right now, we send it back to Chicken Gonzalez.
Jimmy Havoc, like I said, I'll be curious to see Jimmy Havoc wrestle. The last time I saw him was, let's see, that would be in a really good match against Mr. Coffin Drop, Darby Allin.
Cody, you were mentioning the fact of the rankings and AEW, the fact that
Coffin Drop. My kids are bringing up the vignette that they saw. Darby Allin being attacked by Sammy Guevara's friend in the convenience store, and then the counter guy wrestling Coffin effing Drop.
You know.
Again, I would love to see more stuff like that constantly happening. I love the thought that these guys are in our world and their conflicts continue throughout. I think there's something interesting about that and different.
You know, I think that all wrestlers' last names are cool, and a link to the Skunks and Jimmy Havoc, Coffin Drop.
That's right. Lots of destructive words in pro wrestling, Veronica noted. So AEW's done a really good job of filming these, right? It's close up on the guys and then shots without showing the non-existent crowd, right? They got a few people in the audience watching, but Shawn Dean just looks really good. And that cannot be understated. His gear looks top-notch. It all fits in with the captain thing that he does.
so they'll be together.
America, heck yeah.
Jimmy Havoc, slick little move. Little small joint manipulation on the hands.
Going to the pain and twisting the wrist away and going, the full dragon twist there and taking it the other way.
We will.
Wow, it's really controlling that arm and then stomps on the hand.
Yes, I'm
Go back to the way the captain, Shawn Dean, who got the name of captain from his years in the Navy.
If this is like Jimmy Havoc's the heel and Shawn Dean's the face, there is something to be said for sticking to the pattern of a match. Unless this is going to be booked as just a squash where Shawn Dean is just going to get beat up throughout the whole thing. I would love to see Shawn Dean get some kind of shine here early. I think this kind of thing is important. That looked good. Cartwheel.
Yo!
Flipped and took him down, which is great.
Oh, he's doing the American symbol.
Yeah, he does a little salute with the C for captain. He said this. Jimmy Havoc now wants to shake hands.
Kick him in the hand. Kick him in the hand. I want you to.
Jimmy with the nice little handshake there.
Just kick him in the hand.
So hands down, and now immediately goes to the rough stuff, which is good, very heelish. Jimmy Havoc mixing it up, beating him up, which is what you expect. But see, Jimmy Havoc, who's a regular a member on the roster, he's actually smaller than Shawn Dean, which is why I think Shawn Dean looks really good, right? Nice arm drag. I like it because it's the proper uses of the arm drag. It's taking away his momentum. I think often arm drags are just like a beginning of the match thing, but I like how they incorporated it here. Good job to Havoc and Shawn Dean.
Sometimes I don't.
Oh, the Japanese arm drag into the corner looked very brutal.
Sometimes I don't know who is actually being brought down when they both go onto the floor.
I got you. My kid brought up a good point because she's not really a pro wrestling person, and she goes, sometimes I can't tell who's doing the move to who. I think that's an important note, actually. Nice little roll up down, and again, small joint manipulation. This is something I always think commentators should bring up. The fact that there are things you can do in pro wrestling that you cannot do in mixed martial arts, specifically UFC. I think that's just one of the ways pro wrestling can help put itself over. Yeah. Like in Ultimate Fighting, small joint manipulation isn't legal. You can't grab somebody's finger and isolate it and that kind of thing because it's considered too dangerous, and because it's very easy to break someone's finger and that kind of. Oh! Hooked him, elevated him, DDT, dropped him on his head, and that is the end.
Woo!
Here's your winner, Jimmy Havoc.
Is he chewing gum?
No, he's checking his mouth for blood. One thing I'll say is the commentators' blood pressure did not raise very much, the tenor of their voice, the volume, and that's fine. I get not wanting to go immediately to 8, 9, or 10 on an opening match on AEW Dark. At the same time, I don't know, the commentary isn't helping, and so I think there needs to be a sort of nice middle ground between having commentators to have them and then not having them get excited. I don't know. There's got to be a middle ground there.
And so I like screaming.
It created the memories for a long time. And us inmates this
Ooh,
in the pro wrestling world.
that looked really good. This clip package for AEW is really great. Saturday, May 23rd.
Wait, there's a cloud.
There is a crowd because that's from last year's show. So they're going to do May 23rd, Double or Nothing.
I noticed that there's double.
Who is that? Musa. Okay.
Two young competitors were very impressed with, both still in their 20s and both very
There's good old Shug D, a.k.a. Pineapple Pete.
Look at that, Jimmy Havoc.
And then tomorrow night on Dynamite, we're going to have Best Friends with Orange Cassidy against Havoc and Sabian.
Hey, there's the guy.
And this is what I mean. When you have new guys on a show, I would love for them to do something to stand out. Like the guys came to the ring and they're...
And their opponents, team of Chucky T and Trent, Best Friends.
You gotta like their existence.
Because if you're Lee Johnson and you're Musa, they didn't do anything to distinguish themselves. I don't know if they're heel, I don't know if they're face. I don't know what they're doing to try to get my attention or to get anybody else's attention. And you have to make the most of these opportunities. even if they're going to lose to best friends, even if they're going to lose in convincing fashion and get beat quickly, it's still your chance to get known for something, right? It's like how Shawn D dresses in that shirt and the hairstyle and all that stuff, even though he's standing outside of the ring. You got to do what you got to do to get noticed. This is, sports entertainment, right? Drop down, well executed leapfrog, boot to the stomach.
Just had a birthday.
Pick up and there he goes. Elevated. A drop kick from Chuck.
Nice little basement style drop kick.
I like that. Hey, Chuck really likes to.
That little roll away, and then he tags in.
Certainly likes to. He has a lot of personality. I don't know if it's showboating. I don't even know if it's confidence.
He shook hands to bring him in. Even see something even small like that, how they shook hands to tag to show that they're the best friends. It's little touches that I think everybody can bring to the game.
Yep. Me personally, I would hug them.
You would hug them?
Yep, and
If they're best friends, shouldn't they hug? You're right. A little hug.
if they shake hands and more like best acquaintance.
Yeah, Veronica brought up a great point. If you shake hands, aren't you just best acquaintances? You're not necessarily best friends. If you're going to do it, make big choices, right? Forearm, another forearm.
Trent gave him a clean break.
Okay, well, being aggressive, nothing wrong with that.
He's taking it in.
Ooh, but he takes the forearm and he's down.
Look at the chest of Trent. Look at the body. He's one of the best physiques in all of wrestling.
Trent does look very good. He's in very good shape. Chuck Taylor less so, but still. Now Trent, a little aggression, a little energy brought to the match for the first time in AEW Dark, actually. It's the first time I felt like somebody was really going for a competitive thing. It's a good look.
About being ranked.
Ooh, that flipped and turned on that clothesline.
There's a vendetta here, and you've seen what's happened with Jimmy Havoc.
But again, I just don't get the feeling that this is a competitive vibe, right? Everybody's body language, like Chuck Taylor on the apron there, doesn't really care. The tag partners on the other side don't really seem to care. That's a nice move, right? It's bounced him off the ropes into a Northern Lights, into a pin. But again, I don't get the aggressive vibe off of either team that they're really trying to win. It feels like they're just going through the motions. Now, they both whip them in. Best friends both whip them in. Double elbow. Shake hands. And hit an elbow. Double elbow. Nice.
I kind of thought they would fall him into the end and land on the ropes and land on the floor.
Like I was saying earlier, they've been sneaking up in the rankings. I think
Maybe.
of the World Tag Team Championship.
And now we have a few more people out here watching. I see Matt Sells out there. That's cool.
Social distance.
See now, boom, boom.
Big shotty Lee there to hold him in the corner. So
Bring up a good little like staying in character thing, you know?
Yeah, it's actually, I've always said when I train people that it's actually harder work when you're outside of the ring than when you're inside. Because when you're outside, that's when you really have to convey. You want your partner to win, or you're feeling that emotion. You're doing more motions and acting standing on the apron than you do otherwise. Most guys just treat it as a break. They just stand there and do nothing. But that your job is to bring sort of an energy and a vibe to the match. Now he tags his partner in. This is great. Lee with a little, little more motion there. Now when he kicks out, what's he gonna do? So Lee should stay on him.
Going into Dynamite with a big shot at pinning Chuck Taylor.
The guys are so quick to sort of go into this vibe of like, doesn't matter, boom, tag. See, they've got it going on. They're doing well against Chuck.
Brought in individuals like this, and it's been a bit of a replacement story where people have really succeeded. I can see somebody like Lee Johnson.
They're delivering the spots just fine. Oh, nice. Whips him into his partner. Tags in Trent. Now let's see if Trent can bring some intensity to this. Clotheslines one out of the ring.
And he is out. The Bucks don't have a real talking Fight the left.
Over the top rope dive. We used to call that the house show dive, where you just sort of springboard over the rope. It's nice. You get a dive spot in without much risk, and that's good. It's smart. This guy. Oh, and then speared Lee Johnson on the floor. That was brutal. Oh, there's Alan Angels I see on the outside. Again, energy, intensity, right? Is this where their double team comes in? Knee to the face, catches him. Boom, jaw jacks him and then brings him back. And now best friends on either side of Musa. Now they hug.
Yay!
Now Veronica cheers for the hug.
Yep. Who cares about the wrestling? I'm into the affection.
Who cares about the wrestling? I'm into the affection. Very funny. Grabs him. Oh, stomps on him, hits him with the pile driver, a pack, like kind of a one from the back, and then that's the end of the match.
Here are your winners.
Best friends!
Small stuff, but they don't say the time of the match, and I really feel like they should. Just anything they can, because we've seen on AEW Dynamite where they use time stuff as an important thing, right? I remember a Kenny Omega match where they pushed it close to the 20-minute time limit. But if you don't establish that times are important, using them for effect has less of an effect. I know it sounds like I'm nitpicking, but these are all things that are easy to clean up, in my opinion, that they should do.
There was a 20-minute time.
Right, you remember that 20-minute match, right, where they made it important, but right there, the guys won and they didn't say what the time of the match was. Shouldn't they be calling out times, is my point. And the answer is absolutely they should.
There was a timer.
I kind of wish that there was a timer on it.
Yes, they should have a timer on the TV. Agreed. Very easy thing to do. Best friends hugging. And another reminder about their match tomorrow night. I think that's smart. So now we've seen 3 out of the 4 people who are going to be in this match. We're interested. Ooh, Cody against Darby Allin tomorrow night.
He's making a comeback. His mouth didn't have blood, so he's like, well, I'm gonna punch them, I guess.
Is this it for AEW Dark tonight? Let's see. Well, they're putting over all the stuff for Dynamite. Lance Archer against Dustin Rhodes.
He and Lance Archer in the other semifinal tomorrow night.
Indeed, roadblock. Indeed, Lance Archer.
Lance is the one on the left.
You've done it
Yes.
eloquently at the desk.
And Dustin Rhodes is Cody Rhodes' brother.
Dustin has a pretty cool face.
Yeah, Veronica said Dustin had some pretty cool face paint.
For the American Nightmare Cody, I'm Tony Schiavone. See you next time.
That's AEW Dark for tonight, I guess. All right, let me go ahead and get this up.
Pretty sore. Bye-bye.
This is Stephen Platinum, Platinum Principles number 2.
Bye.
Bye.